Oftentimes, if I'm talking to friends or people online about style, they'll tell me that they're stuck in some version of a style rut, that they're kind of bored with things because their closet's just made up of jeans, basic t-shirts, hoodies, and one or multiple styles of old beat-up sneakers. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I obviously have all those things too, but when you're consistently showing up to events, parties, meetings, dates, dinners, whatever, and you're feeling underdressed in those things, that's no good. The reason for this being is it's not allowing you to fully use style to your benefit. And that feeling is the worst. You're suddenly hyper aware of how casual you are, how underdressed you might be, and then you see someone else walk in who's just a little bit more elevated, and you can just tell how much more confident they feel. I'll just use myself as an example. I did not always dress like this, or this, or this. Today, I want to talk about the single style move I made that completely changed the way I dress and in turn also really boosted my self-confidence, and it can do the same for you too. It might sound dramatic, but it's true and super simple. So let's get into it. At one point or another, most all of us have probably stood in the mirror and said some version of, "This is fine, but it's not really working like I want it to. If only there was a single move I could do that would not only raise my confidence, but would also make my style better." Well, good news, it turns out there is. The simple move that changed everything for me was, pause for dramatic effect, I started dressing one level up from what I thought the expectations were. That's it. Just one tiny step up towards being a little bit more dressy. If I thought the expectation was casual, I would go smart casual. If it was smart casual, I would go business casual. If it was business casual, I would dress it up with some fun accessories or maybe an interesting jacket or something. It's not about overdressing like you're going to a wedding every day. It's very much about intent. And these very small changes are going to compound over time. Then in turn, you're hopefully going to start to be received differently in your everyday life. You're going to be getting compliments and your confidence will start to go up as well. Some simple examples of what I mean. Instead of the t-shirt that I had on before, I'll put on something with a collar. It's still extremely comfortable, but it looks just a little bit more intentional because it is just a step dressier. Or another example, instead of the old beat up sneakers, you could maybe do a nice, fresh, cleaner pair of sneakers. Or even a step up from there, instead of the sneaker, you could go with some kind of lace-up shoe. They are still very comfortable, but again, they're gonna look a lot nicer than sneakers will. Footwear is truly one of the easiest ways to make an otherwise extremely casual outfit a little bit more stylish and intentional. I've got the same jeans on as before. I'm still very casual and comfortable, but I am just one step elevated because of the footwear and the collar. These tiny shifts made over time are gonna make a massive difference. You're gonna start to be getting more compliments. It's going to start to make you feel a lot more confident. First of all, people notice effort, right? When you put in a little bit more care than expected, you're showing that you value yourself, but also the people that you're with. You dressed to impress. Secondly, it sets you apart. Most people dress at the bare minimum for any certain situation. So if you put in just the tiniest bit more effort, it's going to make you stand out, but in a very good way. Let's use a casual date as an example. If the average person's going to show up in a t-shirt and jeans, but then you instead show up in a nice sweater polo with some chino pants, you're still going to be relaxed, you're still going to be comfortable, but you're going to relay the message that you got dressed with intention. It's going to make a very good impression. Third, as I've said, it builds confidence. When I elevate a very casual outfit with some nicer shoes and trousers, I look in the mirror and I like what I see. I'm going to walk a little taller. I'm going to carry myself differently, less self-conscious, and people pick up on that energy. And the fourth reason this works is it's still comfortable. For whatever reason, people seem to think that dressing nicer means sacrificing comfort. As I've showed you in all of these outfits, it doesn't have to be super tight. It just has to be intentional. So if you're into this idea and you want to try it yourself, here are some other just super practical tips. T-shirts can absolutely be elevated as I just showed you. However, if the rest of your outfit is very casual, try something like a button-up shirt or a sweater polo like I've shown. Or even something like a knit sweater is really nice when it's colder outside if you don't like the feeling of a collar. Shoes can single-handedly change the entire vibe of your outfit. So instead of just throwing on your old running shoes or beat-up sneakers, opt for something like a minimal leather sneaker, a nicer pair of leather boots, or some type of leather shoe that isn't a sneaker. Layers are quickly going to make a casual outfit look a lot more intentional. You can use something like a simple chore jacket or overshirt. A t-shirt or tank top is great under a button-up in warmer weather. Or you can really add a lot of function and style with something like a leather jacket when the weather does get cooler. As I said before, this doesn't mean you have to be uncomfortable. Clothes should fit your body, not squeeze it. If they're not fitting properly, use a tailor. Accentuate your proportions. It's going to make a massive impact. If you've been following me, you know I am obsessed with accessories. A simple, nice watch my everyday chain, a belt that matches my shoes, some sunglasses. These are all just very subtle little things that make my t-shirt and jeans look one level higher, a lot more elevated. Let's end with a little story time because I want you to understand that this is something that is true to me. This is something I absolutely used because I can remember the first time I went back to Cincinnati after I moved to Los Angeles. It was like 2009. I showed up to my friend's place wearing an intentionally nicer outfit than what I think people would have normally expected me to wear. I'm crazy, so I actually remember the outfit. It was these dark washed jeans with a pair of boots and a nicer t-shirt like this and a really cool overcoat. I hadn't seen a lot of my friends in months since I moved away, and everyone was like, whoa, cool guy in his Mr. LA outfit. And I was, they were making fun of me, but it was out of love. They thought I looked nice. They gave me compliments afterwards, but it was very impactful because I was like, oh, I didn't even really think that much about this outfit. This was kind of just something I threw together, but I was intentional to think about. Everyone's gonna be casual tonight, but I wanna be just one little bit higher than that. So I wore the boots and the overcoat, and it made such a big difference. That was truly when it first clicked for me. It made me feel more confident. I talked to people that night that I probably wouldn't have normally talked to. I even got like compliments from strangers when I was with my friends. And because I was back in town with them, it made me feel so cool. It made me feel so validated. So I don't want to say it's like from that day forward, everything changed. But I mean, that was kind of the impetus, the catalyst to me having this shift of mind of realizing, okay, I don't need to go all out, but if I just take things one step higher, it's gonna really make an impact. And I have held on to that forever, and it has worked. I carry myself infinitely more confidently than I did back then, and it's largely because of the fact that I've been intentional about things. So there you have it, friends. The single move that changed the way I dress, always going one level up from the expectations. It's simple, but it's effective. It's powerful. You should try it. Let me know down in the comments if you're going to try this for yourself or if you already have a style rule or approach that really changed things for you. I'd be interested to know. As always, thank you so much for watching. If there's anything specific you would like to see, let me know down in the comments. We are trying to do new videos every Friday. Here are some weird thumbnail options coming up. Thinking maybe this guy should be over here, kind of like wah wah. But then this guy's over here and he's kind of like, hey, how you doing? I don't know if I'll use that, but you'll see.